Thank you so much for being here once again, for coming along by mule train, dusty locomotive, wind-strewn roads, leaves, mud pools, puddings, rice, and every other obstacle you can think of. And thank you for sitting where you are at the moment. And thank the person who locked you in. Hello. Gosh, this is me. Once again, English to the core. Apples today. Cox's orange pippin. Didn't know that, did you? Right, we're off to Zurich, because that's where they have the most beautiful apple dish at the railway station. It's true. That's the railway station, first class, KL, KLASS. Yeah. Trina and I tried it for the first time, unisex. It is. Look at the way we look at each other. That is the restaurant manager with the man with a big mouth there. Look, he's laughing. He knew I'd say that. Now, he's a lovely fellow. I'm laughing too. We're all laughing. That's the way to get on with the Swiss. And he's drinking. That's a lovely wine. That's a Rudesheimer. That's German. Now, watch this. You smell the apple first. I designed this dish, by the way, for them. You let it sink down. Your wife eats it too. She doesn't know what it's all about. He did it. Peace. So then we went out to the railway station because, well, we didn't know why we'd gone there to eat anyway. So here are all these people with skis. There wasn't any snow. There's Trina. Now, what do you do that's funny in a railway station? You call somebody up. There's me making a phone call. Now, this is supposed to be funny. I'm calling Trina. She didn't know that I was calling her. Then she turned round, and there I was. Isn't that funny? No, you don't. I don't think it's funny, so why should you applaud? That's the mafia. They meet in the railway station. This is funny. This is a piece of real Chaplin-esque humor. That's a stamp machine. Somebody takes the stamp out, you see, when I was being funny. And Trina stuck it to my forehead and was going to post me. Go on, now turn around. That's right, fireman's lift. Okay, so when we were in Zurich, we went to the cinema. Excuse me whilst I move the old furniture around a bit. We went to the cinema, we went to see Airport. I don't know, have you been to see Airport, anybody? Yeah. It was just as bad in Swiss as it was in English. Dean Martin was appalling. That he'd been at the Kirschwasser. Right. So there were three, it was in mid-stalls. That's the only place we could get. And we were shown down the mid-stalls. And we came down to here, and there was this fellow lying across these three things, going... Well, I mean, really. I mean, you don't expect that sort of thing, you know. So I turned to Trina and I said, shall I say something? She said, yes. I said, look, my dear fellow, would you mind sitting in one of those seats so we can sit by your side? Oh. And he replied, So I did what any good Englishman should do abroad, and I went to get the manager. And the manager came down, and he said to this fellow, who was still groaning away, you sit up in the one chair there, and make sure that you sit up, because these two nice English people would like to sit here and watch the movie. To which he replied, The manager then said to him, if you do not move yourself, I will catch a policeman. It's better than catching a cold. The man didn't reply very much, just the usual grunt and groan. And the manager went off and came back with the policeman. The policeman went, hello, hello, hello. They're like that all over the world, you know. What's this here? To which the man replied, If you don't give me your name, I'll book you. Right, where do you come from? The balcony. Now, this is a frightfully interesting dish. You need for this an orange bowl for the start, or commode, and into that you put, out of a green bowl, 8 ounces of all-purpose flour, which incidentally is not altogether correct. 8 ounces of flour is 2 cups. It's not altogether correct because it's all-purpose, and I tried to mend our roof with it the other day, and it washed out of the hole. Now, I'm serious about this. If you claim something to be all-purpose, it should be all-purpose. I don't see anything to laugh at all. I'm actually quite mad about the whole business. So I take my little plastic KitchenAid scraper and put the butter, which is 4 ounces exactly, in tiny cubes, and add 2 ounces of cheddar cheese, finely grated, in on top of that. Now that the fat content of that is 6 to 8. 6 minutes to 8. Time to go to bed. Aren't you sweet? Take your enlarged knuckle dusters and hoe in. Hoe in, hoe in. 'Tis off to work we go. Ho, ho, hey, ho. I'm sneezy. He's droopy. He's grumpy. He's smashed. Didn't know that. 8 of them. Bet you can't name me the seven dwarfs. I was thinking of the sins. Funny how I get around to thinking of that sooner or later. Okay, so having kneaded all that in, past that little bit which goes on the side, in there, you then get hold of some water, which is rather hard to do unless you keep your fingers together. And you pour, oh dear, how much of that? 3 ounces and a knob of ice. And you pour that in, sorry, gradually. Must be poured in gradually. Did forget that just a moment. Actually difficult pouring things in gradually, isn't it? It's like waiting in a restaurant. I don't know if you've ever been to Walt Disney's restaurant, you know, in Disneyland. Has anybody ever been to Disneyland? Oh, isn't it a lovely place? You queue for hours. See so many people so many times. You know, you keep on passing them as they're standing en route, zigzagging in and out. Very good for the muscles. Keeps the American feeling strong. Go in and listen to Lincoln talking to you as a commercial for an insurance policy company, which is, I thought, rather nice thought. And what else did I enjoy about this? Oh, yes, standing interminably, waiting for a table in the New Orleans room, where there's a conveniently placed fountain, which is trickling water all the time, that you're standing there, and I'm sure they do that because you're standing in line like this, you know, and there's this fountain coming down, and people are playing, and girls, you know, in tulle, walking around playing these violins. You know that? And done, and all that sort of thing. It's really quite fun. And then, of course, eventually it gets to you, and you leave your place in the queue, and then you have to go back to the beginning again. It's terrible. That is cheese. That's a cheese paste. You let it relax for a little bit in the oven, and bring it out when it is done. 1.5? Thank you. I was engaged once to the All England shot putting champion. Can you imagine how dangerous that is? No, really. This is remarkably cold. I don't think it's a good. It's a jolly decent thing to do to warm it up a little bit. You have to have warm hands to make bad pastry. However, if it's been in the refrigerator, your hand or the pastry, then it's tricky. I keep this marble slab just in case I die. I make pastry on this side, and I had the letters on the other side. But I was chiseled out of them. Now, half a minute. Well, I'm going to have a push. Have you seen that new thing they're selling nowadays to take off inches around your waist? The wheel?
Yeah.
Have you tried that? Oh, it's weird, it really is. You've got this wheel, like off the front wheel of a wheelbarrow. And you go like this. Well, look, can you follow me? It's like this. And you go up against the wall like that. And then you blow out. Each end of this now rinsed and washed. You're specially invited here as friends. I don't expect friends to do that sort of thing, I really don't. Whop you right over the nut with this in a moment. Not that sophisticated, you know. There is a moment in time, with all of us, when we get uptight. I'm singing in the rain, in the snow. I'm singing... There's a fly. Shall I drown it with flour? I don't know what I'm doing a program like this for. I'm a serious cook. You're employed by this establishment. You know the hours that I put in here. You know it, don't you? And you. You know. All those hours. Sorry. All those hours. Way off into the night sometimes. Incorrigible. I have two things that go on the end here. It doesn't work that well, but it keeps the pastry 1/16 of an inch away from the marble slab. So you take them off. Why don't things go right for me? So? Just chat amongst yourselves. Switch over. The other channel has Lassie. Take an apple and a pair of sparkling eyes. It's an Arabian dish. Cut into the apple. Thank you very much, Donald. Donald has a very sophisticated sense of humor, even transcends my studio directors, who only laughs at what people tell him from upstairs. I'm looking at you. Take a piece of camembert. Camembert, darling. You can peel it. No. You can peel it. Kirschwasser. Frightfully expensive liqueur, but you don't need much. 10 cc's, actually. Right. There you are, Granny. How does that feel? That's a... Granny Smith apple. Just a small brush and some pastry. The rest of this program I shall do in mine. And when I told them how beautiful I am, they'd never believe me. No, they'd never believe me. We must be over our 4 bars by now. Do you think that's public domain? I haven't ever been caught. Do you realize that if you sing over 4 bars, God save our... If you sing gracious, you get clobbered. For, what do they call it? royalties. They don't. That royalties. Oh, no. That's very clever. You'll wind up on the Tonight Show one of these days, conducting the orchestra. So what you do is you tie it all up like that, like a package, and you straighten out the edges. Oh, aren't you pleased you joined me? This is a dessert, ladies and gentlemen. Your just dessert. Oh, just do yourself up there. Right, fine. Now, just tighten it up there. Just cut that around the outside. Now, please. Would you mind moving away, sir? Is that your wife? Well, there's no need to laugh about it. You know, she looks very nice. Clean-limbed, decent sort of girl. No, don't pick it up, because you'll get into a lot of trouble if you do that. Now you roll it out in order to make a leaf. See? Like that. Now that's a leaf. In autumn. Under the wheels of your car, you just, smashed up in a puddle of mud, and that's just, it takes a great deal of experience to know how to do that. And you just wash that all over the top. A little salt in with the egg wash, please, because then it makes it come out all the more golden and beautiful. That's an apple leaf, you might notice, and I'll do a geranium leaf. Would anybody like a nasturtium? I can do bluebells. Sorry, it was the fly that gave me the idea. And there it is. Rather attractive, don't you think? Thank you, all those people who just came in. That's very sweet of you. How was the coffee in the canteen, all right? That's fine. Good. How do you like our homemade ice cream that we pass around, and the nuts? Oh, they're nice, aren't they? I love those nuts. Freshly roasted every evening for you. Pop it in there. Temperature 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And wait until it goes brown. Unlike these. Now, these are all right, because you see, look, they've come together. Look. In there, it's absolutely gorgeous. And you can smell it from a mile off. By the way, the cheese that I put over the top was Emmentaler with the holes in it. Thank you so much for being with me. I shall be with you in be quiet. In a few seconds' time in my salle à manger, which is French for dining room. Thanks so much. Right. Now you see, ladies and gentlemen, I happen to like apples with cheese. And that's why I thought of this idea. And I think if you drape the pastry over the outside in the same way as I have done there, and this cheese pastry with apple and the kirsch, everything else, it's my own creation. A simple thing, very easy to accomplish, and the kirsch is really a little expensive, but honestly, 10 cc's goes an awful long way. Now you just cut through that crust and open it up and look at that lovely cheese-sodden, kirsch-sodden apple in the center there. Now that is, as you can see from the steam coming off it, a trifle hot. So you plunge it into the ice-cold cream. Oh, you know, don't you? That is a most unusual flavor for those blokes, like me, who hate frothy desserts. Give him a man's dish. God bless you. Owen. It's all yours. Oh, yes. Have you seen this show before?
No? On television once.
On television once or twice. You do that exceedingly well. No, my daughter does it like that too. She eats and goes, do you like that?
Very much indeed.
It is rather fun, isn't it? Yes.